All right, we're back here on SportsLine talking about the Titans situation. Paul Kuharsky, great guest, great information in our previous segment. Yesterday, the Titans were hopeful that today they would get back into St. Thomas Sports Park and they would be able to practice. That obviously did not happen, but a lot of interesting information came from Mike Vrabel yesterday. So let's take a listen to the Titans head coach.
Good afternoon, Mike.
Hi, Teresa.
How are you doing?
Fantastic.
All right. After 2 straight days without a positive test, how confident are you all that this outbreak has been contained and that you'll be able to get back to work hopefully tomorrow and play Buffalo on Sunday?
Hopeful, excited that we've been able to string together a couple really good days as far as the testing and really just getting back to where we were. Hoping for some continued good news tomorrow morning, and then we'll kind of see where we are with the league and hopeful to return and get back into the building.
Experience on the Yankee side and Glass now getting into a bit of a trouble.
Go ahead, Coach. Sorry.
Nope, I'm all set there.
Eric?
Hey, Mike. It's been a few days since we last spoke to you. I was just wondering if you could provide an update on how some of the infected individuals are doing. Are some still experiencing flu-like symptoms? Are most better, or any even worse?
I'd say everybody's progressing and doing well, and really just kind of, I'd say doing better, and just try to, stay away from some of the specifics, but I appreciate you asking, and everybody is doing better, and I would say that everybody's family, to the best of my knowledge, is doing well as also.
Teron?
Yeah, Coach, glad you're doing well. As far as the protocols and procedures, will there be anything different other than the new protocols that were put in place for you guys when you do eventually return?
Just whatever the league sent us. I guess that's what you're referencing as far as new. But, there's some things that we'll have to do a little differently here in the short term. As it relates to, the Zoom meetings with the players as we prepare towards the end of this week.
Jim?
Mike, what's the acclimation period, I guess, as far as when you can return to practice and if you are back in the building tomorrow, do you hit the field, or what does that look like?
Again, there's just a lot of speculation, Jim. We haven't been cleared to go back into the building. Working through numerous schedules as it relates to what Wednesday, let's say, afternoon might look like, Thursday and Friday, as we work towards our preparation. So meetings are going well. I think the players have been, very intentional with their time in the meetings, trying to stay engaged, and the coaches as well. So we'll get those going again tomorrow, and then as soon as we hear from the league, we'll try to get everybody in whenever we can.
Paul?
Mike, do you have enough coaches? I know you said last night that you're not counting on the players who have tested positive. You're not counting at this point on any of them being back. I'm wondering if the same can be said for coaches, how significant those numbers might be and what kind of contingencies you have to put in place for practice and the game if they're missing. And could they help you in any way during a game via Zoom?
Again, the most important thing is always going to be the players, to make sure that, without them, we don't have a game. But I'm hopeful that, we'll get most of the staff members back. The ones that aren't won't have a role in the game. There's nothing to say or, that they can have any sort of impact on the game from Zoom. That's never been allowed. But I think we are set up very good to be able to handle some of these things at each position. Some carryover. We've mentioned that. We've gone through that with the staff and the versatility that we think that we have in the staff. at different places. So, we're just going to try to prepare the team and take the 48 guys that we feel like give us the best chance to win on Sunday.
Joe?
Mike, what's the status of the investigation, and do you have any reaction to the NFL source and Schefter's story saying that you guys violated protocols?
No, Joe, they've been here. We've met with them. I've met with them. And we've been in constant contact with the league as it relates to, their thoughts, our conversations. So I'll leave that up to the league to discuss that, and then certainly not going to have any reaction to any sort of report or media release.
John Glennon?
Hey, Mike, wondering, I guess, how many of the 10 guys on the 10 players on the COVID list were symptomatic, and for the ones who were not, would there be any chance that those guys could play with the shortened protocol?
No, I don't. I think we're gonna, and again, I appreciate everybody's, concern for those guys. They are headed in the right direction, but to get into individual and specific symptoms, that's not something that we're going to do. And I don't think that there's going to be a shortened return based on symptoms. So I think that we're just going to have to let this play out, let the protocols work themselves out as it relates to the time away, and then especially the return to play. The ramp up period that we've seen from other players on our team or throughout the league that that go through this ramp up period and monitor the cardiovascular health.
Thanks.
Luke?
Mike, you mentioned a second ago that you all want to give, of course, the best 48 to play when you get back out there. But with the number that you have on the COVID list right now, what's your plan for ensuring that you have 48 eligible players when it comes to game day? Are you thinking about having tryouts this week? How does all of that work?
No, we're good. We had 14 guys in the practice squad, and some of those guys will have played for us. Some of those guys haven't played for us, and I know that they're excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing them play. But we're confident in what we have and trying to look at practice. And I know there'll be some guys that'll have to pull some double duty for us as we prepare and try to give each other a look. Mostly the DBs will have to help us out as wide receivers, and that's just where we're at. But confident that we'll have the right number of players at each position for the game.
Corey?
Coach, could you kind of talk through the cardiac testing these guys have got to go through to come back and what you're looking for in that?
That's out of my hands, Corey. That's done by the doctors and the trainers. But there's a ramp-up period, an acclimation period that they have to go through, no different than the concussion protocol that they would follow. So when they tell me that they're available, then we'll take a look at them on the practice field. But that's out of my control.
Jared?
Yeah, Mike, I know you said you didn't want to get into what media was reporting about the possible protocols, but after meeting with the league and reviewing the contact tracing and surveillance footage and things of that magnitude, how comfortable do you feel that you guys were handling the protocols correctly?
Well, I think I stand by, our efforts as an organization, as a team, in following the protocols that were in place. John and I put a lot of thought into it. We're going to continue to do everything that we can to make sure that, as we enter back into this building, that things are safe and the players are comfortable and that they're health and well-being is at the forefront.
Terry?
Mike, you had talked about, taking the best 48 or taking the 48 that you have available. Obviously with Bo being one of the guys that's down, you had talked about bringing in a long snapper. What is going to be the procedure if you are able to bring anybody in from the outside, knowing that